in the championship. We have 5v5 matches, and it's going to be a best of 3. You can see your map pool there, all of those options you all should know and love from CSGO, and then the ban system is going to be laid out for you guys there as well. You don't need me to read through that for you, but those are all of the rules you're going to need to know for this CSGO championship. I think this is going to be a good time. Now, let's move into talking about the team here, guys. First, let's start with Michigan Tech. Can you tell me a little bit about their background here? Maybe call out one player to look out for here, Pyro.
Oh, okay. I think I can do that. Michigan Tech is I think they're they're definitely a newer program specifically for esports. Obviously, the university's been around for a long time, since the 1800s. But 2020 and 2021 is their first esports season, and they've had some pretty solid results. Very promising organization right now. They quote teams in the fall had a 75% or higher win rate across the board, consistently making playoffs in everything they entered. They have CSGO teams, they have Overwatch teams, they have Rocket League, they have League of Legends, and they have a lot of plans to add other things like Rainbow Six Siege and Super Smash Brothers. So this is a university that is very much investing in a varsity esports program. So they're extremely amped on it, and early results are showing promise. Now, they're here in the finals. We have talked about how they haven't dropped a map yet, and I think a big part of why is actually, it's funny enough, it's one of the players that was brought into the game by one of the players on the other team. So I want to really talk about who I think potentially could stand out here, and I think it's going to be Retina. This is a player that MX3, who on the opposite side, kind of brought into a team called Goat Squad for a little while to fill, and basically he's just been pugging across the way and playing a ton of CSGO, and he's played on the Huskies for a little while now, and honestly, I'm just excited to see individual standout performance, but across the board, this whole team has been solid. Many of their matches haven't even been close.
Love that. All right. So there's definitely some things weighing in favor of Michigan Tech, but going up against them is Central Michigan Tech. So you can tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look back towards the college, again, you're talking about the big backings that these universities have started to bring in. They have their own dedicated esports center, so that's obviously going to be huge for them. They have, I think, over 100 players in different esports all competing there. So just a nice, massive mix of people coming in to the scenes, to the respective scenes at the collegiate level. If you're looking at the team, though, the player that Pyro brought up, again, is probably the person I'm looking towards on Central Michigan, which is MX3, who not only brought in a member of the other team to play competitive CSGO in the first place, but is the in-game leader for their own team, has that longer storied history that, again, we looked at the previous Hearthstone tournament, previous esports tournaments in general, you can see that veteran experience is so key, especially in these clutch final games.
All right. I love it. Now, we were actually able to catch up with Will from Michigan Tech and Colin from Central Michigan, so let's take a quick look at their interviews.
So I go by MX3 in game, and I'm the in-game leader for Central Michigan University's CSGO team. So I've been playing since 2013 and kind of just been competitive since 2017. I think we have 5 very individually skilled players, and we're really kind of learning how to play as a team now. So I think bringing the individual skill and then also the teamwork into maps like Inferno and Mirage really just kind of give us an edge on other opponents. I love playing with them every single day. We've improved a ton this year as a team, and I'm really proud of all my teammates for how much they've grown. We buckled hard, we trained, and I'm really proud of how much we've grown. So I think we have a chance to win this finals, but it's going to take every single one of us to show up and play our best game that we played all year.
My name is Colin Thor, and I go by the name of Koi online, and I'm from Michigan Tech Huskies Esports. I've been playing for about 5 years now, and competitively for 3. I'm actually a coach by trade, so this is my first season actually playing, but I have Tier 2 experience coaching. So we have Voltage, who has former pro experience from the org Chaos and Triumph. We have Retina, who's an amazing fragger, and we have 2 other players that fit really, really well into that kind of package deal, and we've so far been putting up really great results. So I think that the chemistry that we have is really our most competitive advantage, and I'm really happy that that MTU has allowed us to kind of operate that way.
great to be able to hear from the players there before we get into this match. Now, anything jump out to you guys there after being able to hear a little bit directly from the players?
I mean, you gotta look
Yeah,
back
go ahead,
at
Tug.
the ex-pro. I mean, coming back from Chaos now, that has to be worth mentioning, right? Ex-pro player coming back into the collegiate scene. Great way to kind of show that you're still up there at the top level.
Yeah, it's another huge like advantage that the Huskies have, right? Like Voltage was talked about by Koi, also Retina being a solid fragger, and the fact that they just have this they trust the teamwork. Both teams really trusting the teamwork, and that's necessary to make it at this level of play. But I think just individual skill looks really promising across the board.
Absolutely. I think that this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a long and good one. So I'm excited. I think our players are almost ready to get into this game. So that means it's going to be time for our Michigan Tech versus Central Michigan CSGO NACE 2021 Collegiate Championship. You guys ready? Pirate Tag, you feeling good?
Oh yeah, let's bring it on.
All right, then I'm going to pass it off to you guys. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Glitter. We are going to get into this one. We will have to see the picks and bans of the map. And you know, one thing that jumped out to me, Tig, in that interview as well, is when we heard from MX3, they were talking about how much they trusted their abilities, specifically on Mirage and Inferno. Now remember, Inferno is one of the maps that gets consistently picked by Michigan Tech, and they have not dropped a game.
On top of the fact that Inferno is actually the map that was lost by Central Michigan in the one loss in their most recent game.
And maybe
So
they should mix it up, huh?
Yeah. I mean, coming into that, we were thinking that potentially Inferno was a ban, but certainly if that's one of the most comfortable maps, this should be a highly contested one coming into it.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what the bans end up being. I think Mirage, trying to pick that will be good, but we have seen MTU pretty consistently ban it out. You know, we looked back at the stats and what they were doing in every other match of the tournament, and they pretty much got the exact same setup, right? The first time they banned Mirage, they banned Train, they were able to take Inferno, and it defaulted to Overpass across the board. Whereas CMU have been a little different. They actually ended up playing, they ended up banning a Vertigo map, which kind of surprised me. Maybe they were forced to do that because they didn't want to play it. And it looks like we do actually have our map bans currently. So reading it off at the moment, Train was first banned by MTU, no surprises there. And then, yeah, Vertigo again by CMU, following up by Dust 2, and then Nuke, which means Inferno gets picked by the Huskies, Mirage gets picked by CMU, one of their favorite maps, and then Overpass would end up being the final map. So, Tig, there are some similarities there to what we've seen in the rest of the tournament for the Huskies, but it does feel like at least CMU can be pretty happy that they got a hand on Mirage.
Yeah, I think that's it. They got, from their own interviews, they got their two favorite maps. That's, for them, this has to be the biggest win you can get coming out of the pick ban phase at the very least. So, let's, again, see how it plays out. I think Inferno's the one I'm keeping a big eye on, because I think that one, to me, is kind of a series definer.
It will be, for sure. I mean, this is best of 3, but, you know, if you end up getting the 2-0, it's not going to matter too much for them, so we will be kicking off with Knife Round. On the CT side, it will be the Huskies, Michigan Tech, facing off against the T side, Central Michigan, all on Inferno early on in this game. So Inferno is the map that is always the pick here, Tig, of the Michigan Tech team. So we'll see what they are able to do. Now, they played Overpass and other maps. They've been pretty solid at it, but I do want to take a look at what ends up happening here with regards to this early phase. Obviously, defining rounds, Knife Round can mean the tempo swing pretty effectively, and it's going to go T side. So CMU coming up with that first one. Pretty
clean, simple. I mean, as you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was just a pre-round. My bad. That was a pre-round. Yeah. Oh boy.
I mean, you're right though. Starting the momentum right. At the very least.
Yeah, you know, it's all about sending a message. I think that's the important thing, right? You want to be able to send that message. So here we go. Now we are kicking things off with pistol round. And it looks like the quick move from Michigan Tech on T side are going to be moving their way up into Banana right here. There's only 2 defenders.
Let's go for the 5-man rush. Makes sense.
Yep.
Got some good angles though.
Everyone rush B. It's a CSGO classic. Waiting the wings. Oh, that's a good quick cap. Nicely done on that silence. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. However, Michigan Tech actually finding more answers And there's only going to be 2 defenders left here. I think this is going to be a B take. Yep, the Huskies take the first round of the pistol.
Again, this is their comfort. They know they, for each of these rounds, probably already have their full pre-plan ready to go, exactly where they're headed. And you can see that. 5-man call, immediately, no hesitation, right down the same way.
Yeah, on a pistol round, I think it makes a lot of sense to just do something fun like that. But, you know, you can already see that it's going to result in a little bit of extra tempo swing. Interesting, here's the split here. The bomb is not going to get picked up for a little bit as there is one forward, Koi, looking to push here just on the edge of Banana. But the bomb being dropped back by T-Ramp instead. I mean, you don't have to play as careful, but, you know, you do want to try and preserve some of your weapons. You got a couple of AKs in hand right now.
I was saying, you've gone rifles and SMGs versus pistols. You have to take this round.
You definitely don't want to lose because you can already just forfeit that momentum if you start dropping a couple. So playing a little more careful is nice. There are, once again, only 2 defenders on B site, but it's a game of information. You don't know that if you're Michigan Tech just yet.
Wait to see how it plays here. I think you're just holding corners with the pistols. You know, that's basically your only option.
Exactly. You just want to make sure you can go through. So the smoke comes in and immediately taken down. That's going to be 2 kills for none. Clean slate, the only one who even takes damage in that. That's 3. It should be a pretty easy kill. And before he can even get enough damage, that is going to be enough to cement this round. At this point, Droid's just going to try to pick up a weapon if he can. But, yeah, blind fire. Ooh, man,
okay.
Actually does manage to take down Clean slate. But that's the SMG, though. I don't think you care about that too much if you're Michigan Tech.
No, but I mean, taking out something at the end there with the pistol, a lot of rounds fired both ways, managed to just about eke it out. But as you said, nothing going to be too massively impactful there with the loss.
No, I think they're not going to be too busted up about it. So, you know, we're going to start to see, after a couple more saves, CMU should be able to get themselves into a position where they can buy a little bit more. Guns coming through once again, still hanging onto those AKs, a little bit of a swap up. Is that a PP Bison? I haven't seen that in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, either way, more standard rifles. It's versus pistols, so not sure how much
I
it
mean, like,
matters anyway.
sometimes you just force buy just because you're feeling yourself, and Koi's down to 0 money at this point, so okay. Oh, my goodness. It's an actual shootout right now, though, and it does mean that 2 are taken down, but the less valuable guns, once again, MX3 is the last man standing on his team, and he's picked up that SMG himself. Let's see if he can actually take out anybody else. Those 2 AKs going to prove a pretty serious threat right now.
I mean, while they're holding Banana, you can see that there could just be a wrap around on the other side over to A.
Yeah, it's a slow walk on the bomb. So this
you have someone lurking in Banana as well, just in case as the rotation can come.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, maybe you want to just save. You know, you don't have a ton of money yet since you lost the pistol round. Maybe save on the SMG. Maybe try to go hunting and pick somebody off. It's going to be a tough call here for MX3.
The rotation is coming through, though. Go around at least. Should be spotted.
Oh, headshot. Does get a little damage on 1 voltage. Not nearly enough, though. So Michigan Tech will take round number 3.
Yeah, he's kind of pincered either side. No real way to rotate. I wonder if they were actually going to collapse in or just accept that they had the better economy. Probably we're happy to wait it out either way.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement for sure. So, you know, mostly AKs still across the board, still BP Bison. Must be a little bit of a preference there. As now we get the buy-in, and it looks like Flash does manage to pick up an op here. So this is the first time we're going to see the op coming into this game. Will the guns make the difference here for the CT side? Flash already taking damage. No! Completely deleted by Dead.
Well, you see there's smokes there, but it doesn't matter. Just firing through the smoke as it is now. Already taking a lot of damage there.
I mean, after a full buy round, the last thing you want is your opper to drop before he has a chance to do damage. Disaster for CMU here. You're going to have to try to go for the pickup and save that gun.
I mean, you have to take the round first, and you can see how comfortable Michigan Tech look. You can see why this is their favorite map. Very comfortable here, and again, just as he's throwing the grenade comes around.
Just barely. It's quieted down for a moment here. So the 2-member defense, I think you kind of have to stop splitting at this point. Central Michigan have been really trying to cover all bases. The problem is they're spread too thin. And here is going to be the bomb slowly moving its way through Banana, but on the backside, main event is going to find one, but it's traded back on to Retina.
Okay, so it's still 3v4. This is kind of the big potential turn for CMU. They really need to try pull something back here because they've been so low economy the past few rounds, giving 3 rounds over basically for free to Michigan Tech off that.
Well, yeah, and Han's just going to get completely deleted at this point. So MX3, he's going to try to maybe hold the line here behind B-site, but there's so many members of the Huskies still available, and he is not going to live through that. Or excuse me, Droid's not going to live through that. MX3, last man standing, does manage to take down Koi. That's big. Picked up by Clean Slate, and Huskies are going to take round 4, but they even steal the op back.
From that alone, you can see just huge amount of money going over the other side. You can see really trying to just get as efficient a buy on the other side, but just kind of saving. You see, even just simplifying down. We need to full buy again. We need to be able to match them. On the other side, exact same guns, except this time you've now got yourself an opper in the form of Voltage.
Yeah, so this is looking really good for the Huskies at the moment. They've forced an eco round, and Central Michigan are going to need to try and arrest this momentum, but it's so hard to do when you're just rocking pistols. They do get a good start, though, by taking down Koi. Good headshot.
You now actually have a numbers advantage, which unfortunately when you're going pistols isn't that important, but it can help you. You can hold yourself more angles, and seeing already, it just doesn't matter. You can just, from further away, it's just so hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, the split defense, like, it's definitely solid in theory. The problem is they just keep getting overrun. Every single time we're seeing the same story. We've seen 1 or 2 A plants, but it really has just been much more deathmatch oriented because we're not really looking at the plant. We're looking at the numbers advantage in 4v4, certainly going to favor the ones with the guns.
But on top of that, yeah, I mean, even if they do come together, if you're only running pistols, you just get mowed down by those rifles.
Yeah. So there was a pickup once again with Koi going down. The PP Bison gets picked up by MX3, but Haon's going to get taken out by this one. Dead and Voltage are a little bit low on the health, but they have managed to take another member flash down with them. So now it's just MX3 and Droid as they make their way into A site looking for that plant. There's a split defense once again, and they just keep firing through Retina, just looking for it. Does get dropped. It's a 2v3. There's a chance here for the CT side.
Yeah, they're not gone yet, but here's the off, watching the door. Yep, just
one tap. Yeah, so it's on MX3. I mean, I think we've sung this song before, Tig. MX3 just trying to be the hero, but for 4 rounds it hasn't happened. Bomb plants down. At this point, he probably saves since they're so low on money.
Yeah, I mean, when I said MX3 was going to be the player to watch, I didn't think he was going to be the only player to watch for most of these games, but it's just been so unfortunate for them. And more importantly, it's been very impressive by Michigan Tech how much control they've had over this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is why they picked this map, right? Remember, every single time they've gone for Inferno first. Now, they tend to prefer Overpass as a second map. This time they let it slide to 3. Mirage was the pick that Central Michigan were going for. But, it's still early on in this one. It is only 5 rounds in, but Michigan Tech have completely owned it. They've hardly lost members at all. You just look at the deaths column. It's, some of the members haven't died pretty much at all.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you're looking at Retina, the player you actually called out as well. Voltage, on top of that, the X-Pro. Both looking pretty comfortable here.
Yeah, and you've got your full setup.
Yeah, just cutting off Banana with the Molotov just immediately.
Yeah, there is going to be at least a full buy once again here for Central Michigan, so you do get rifles on both sides. But yeah, main event already taking a little bit of chip damage. Koi as well getting dinged just a little bit in some blind fire. Koi really sticking it with the Bison. Got to respect the dedication there.
All M4s on the other side, saying so something a bit more uniform to expect there. Whereas, as you said, you've the Bison on one side, and you've the AKs, and then you've the op, most importantly, I think, as well. It's kind of back up.
That's the same. I think that's the same op that was picked up earlier. There we're gonna go. Some serious damage being dealt. CT's coming up big this time as Koi and Dead are both dropped. That is the first advantage we've seen from Central Michigan so far, as they are well defending B site. But there is going to be potentially a 2v2 coming up through here, Banana.
Yeah, this is the first Banana fight we've seen them actually lose. But we are seeing kind of a comeback now over towards A.
Okay, 1 Voltage. Creeping through the smoke. Has that op. Flash dropped. Pan as well. Spawn. Oh, no. All of a sudden, the tables have turned again. It's even.
One more left. He's actually hiding at the back there.
Molotov peek shot. That's going to be it. I think they're going to take this again. Tig, it looked so good here for Central Michigan. But now the bomb plant's going to come down, and here's the rush through Banana.
Oh, okay.
Actually does manage to take down Voltage.
Yeah, managed to avoid the op, most importantly, there as well. You had the op scope on there and just managed to shoot fast enough.
Yeah, so it's all rifles at this point. 2 AKs, a third one picked up, and the M4 in the hands of Droid. With the bomb plant down, though, onus on the defenders. Can Central Michigan eke their first round out? That's the question, peeking through smoke.
You see, they want to push here, but... Okay, they're actually on the site now. Going for the defuse.
Go in for it and around the side. Retina, does he have the damage? It's 1. That's 2. They're going to do it. Clean slate staying alive. It was an expensive round, Tig. But Michigan Tech again.
Well, I was like, it's an expensive round. Sure, you dropped a lot of people, but at the end of the day, Michigan Tech still has the money to just buy right back in at the same place they just were. This time, swapping everyone on the AKs. No more out there guns. We're okay. That one was kind of close. Let's get to the AK.
Yeah, they do pick up the op once again, but it's against pistols at this point. Michigan Tech are just owning this, and it's starting to call back some of the earlier rounds. We've seen just about every Inferno game that Michigan Tech have played in this tournament has not been close. 16-5, 16-3. Those are the score lines we're talking about. Right now, it's 6-0 in the opening match, in the opening map of the 2021 NACE Spring Championships.
We are seeing an actual change in strategy, though.
Ooh.
We saw them actually group up on A instead of trying to fight a banana with their pistols, and as a result, they've actually taken out 2 here.
They steal an op and an AK as well. I really like this. Taking it to the offense and just rushing past A site. At this point, it's 2v2 down to the pistols once again, but they have managed to make Michigan Tech lead.
Okay, there's one down, and the other, they know where he is. They're actually just going to rush the rotation and cover their back.
Yeah, they should be able to do it. It's a lot easier to defend Banana from that side. So, Koi and Dead are both extremely low, but main event is also not full health.
Mm-hmm.
Bombs down. Looks like a couple of flashbangs are really all he's got to rely on, and this is going to be tough. I mean, at this point, do you just save? I wonder.
I mean, when you're about to go 7-0, saving feels real bad, but at the same time, I don't think you have another option. I think you have...
I mean, he does steal the op, but I kind of feel like that's worth it.
I think it's the only way you're going to have another chance going into the next few rounds anyway, so I think you might as well go for the steal here and just hold it. You see just absolutely running away, sitting in the T apartments.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a little casual house hunting, right? Like we've all been there. Just like, let's take a look. Do I want this place? Does this have nice amenities? Oh, it's pretty good.
You live in LA and I live in Dublin. Affordable apartments are taken wherever they can be found, whether there's bomb sites near them or not.
I can dream, Ty. Honestly, Inferno's pretty nice. There's bombs going off and people running around, but like on the whole, it's it's a lovely little place.
Yeah, it's got some nice old architecture, a lot of amenities. There's a fountain,
mm-hmm.
a lot of few sandbags hanging about.
Visit scenic Inferno.
It's up and coming.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think so too. So 7-0 here, and there is a timeout being spent by Central Michigan, and I think. Yeah. It makes sense. At this point, you are bleeding rounds. You have to let your mental reset. You have to try and slow the momentum a little bit. You do have an op. It's in the hands of Flash. That's going to be good. And you are able to get a full buy of M4s at this point. But apart from that, it doesn't matter if you've had these rifles or if you've had pistols, you haven't been able to take a round, and you don't want to go into the half down, nearly to match points. So at this point, you need to start firing back.
I think that's it as well. Just more of a mental reset than anything else, because this is also going to be a full buy around both sides. You have the rifles to rifles and an op to match. Presumably, one Vulture is going to pick up the op there. So I expect that they're just looking to reset, going in toe to toe, and try to make this the turnaround. Yeah,
full buy finishes. It is an op versus an op. Voltage has been pretty solid on that so far today. And the kickoff of the round, there is going to be a split pushing through here, a little bit of a feint towards A as the main push is in onto B through Banana. Once more, there is a Molotov coming out quickly, and they will take it slow and methodically. And if you're Michigan Tech, that's perfectly fine. You've been able to win these consistently.
Yeah, it is very similar to the previous positioning of Central Michigan as well. No real major changes here from their previous pushes in the past, just hoping now maybe they can actually kind of stand up on this Banana push.
All right, MX3 does take a little bit of extra damage there, and they aren't able to chip too much away from the opposition. I stand corrected. A little bit of blind fire going through the smoke, and you can see Michigan Tech stops short, just behind Carr.
It's actually MX3 who's taking the bulk of that on the other side, but see, they're actually going to move up here, not seeing each other through the smoke.
This is a big push on Banana. You can see Retina is the only one that's pushing solo, going for the hunt, and he's going to run right to the opera and one-tap him in the back of the head. That's huge.
As I said, in worst case scenario, you can at least pick up the op now, but I think you've got to look for the turnaround, right? You're going to try hold B. Looks like it's going to be a major B push from Michigan Tech. So this is like they have 2 members there set up, ready to defend. is going to be enough.
This is pretty huge. You just can't go into the meat grinder, but right now just looking for the peek around, not finding who they're looking for. You have to go into the corners, and Dead is going to get dropped, but not before he does some serious damage to Heian here, and it's all down to Droid. Once again, the huge rush and collapse onto B site. It seems like Michigan Tech loves this spot.
Yeah, and like it's working, right? Don't change what is working, you know? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And
yeah, I loved the flank here. That was I didn't think Retna was going to be able to pull that off, but he got a full tour of Inferno, took somebody out along the way, and managed to sidestep Droid, who does pick up the op on the outside, and that's just going to be unfortunately another save for Central Michigan. Michigan Tech owns this map.
Yeah, I believe that was actually just a takeout and clean slate as well. They're going to try press here to try to take down the opper. Seems that that's what they're going for. They actually do.
My goodness, it is just so clean.
It's so punishing as well, right? It's like, we can take this round. We know your economy's low. It's like, no, we're going to chase down because we have so much money. We can afford the loss in a rifle if this doesn't work. We're going to make sure you have absolutely nothing to work with. And you see, they're going for a full buy because they realize they can't let this go down again.
Yeah, and it's pretty much a force at this point, and that's why you see, it's not 100% M4s. The op, it does come into play as well for Flash. And this is going to be a 2-push up Banana. Once again, they're going for that kind of methodical push forward, try to pick off a couple of players, and then basically just casually waltz into B side. That's kind of been the play overall for Michigan Tech, despite what happened last time around with the big collapse. They will pull back. Well, they do have a couple of members sitting down there just at second mid.
Yeah. I was saying on the other side, though, on Banana, they've changed up their positioning slightly, now sitting in sandbags. You're trying to pick them up as they're expecting an aggressive push at some point, but nope, they're going to back up right back towards B, and it's... Oh, we've seen it before, Pyra, and it concerns me. If you're a Central Michigan fan, I think it should concern you too as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're hoping for the half to end 8-7, and that's not what you want to hear at the start of things. So the 3-push does come up through Banana. They actually make their way all the way up to Car here, and once again, the wraparound should come through. There are superior numbers. However, you do see the clean slate has been wiped off the map. So is Heian, though, and they are going to be able to push in here, but there's still one left alive. MX3 does get dropped. Bomb plant is not there, though, because the bomb had not been taken. I don't think they expected to get that push as successful as it was. It's still a 3v3, but Koi has 10 HP left.
We've seen this from them consistently. They actually leave the bomb behind, then go forward with it. So not hugely surprising here, but look at the strong overlook they have. Oh, actually get picked off.
Yeah, 2v2 right now. Actually, Droid does manage to pick up the M4 for himself in the op. Coming in there for Flash. Will it be enough to make the 2v2 play? Looking to the outside. Do they actually have the damage to make this happen, Tyke? Bomb plant's going down.
Look up in Garden, though. That's where I'd be concerned.
Oh, they got it! 1 round for Central Michigan. It's about time.
A nice double peek there. You actually had them come in from Garden and get the double angle on them. Really nicely done to put them under a huge amount of pressure there. You knew where they were standing. Managed to take them out. And oh, they needed that reset at some point. They finally find a round for themselves, but it hasn't put Michigan Tech down. They have the money to buy right back in. They're right back to where they once were.
Yeah, at this point, you need to do that. You need to do it again, and then you need to do it one more time for good measure. Just starting to put Michigan Tech on the back foot is going to take a lot more work. They do get the buy through. It's not a full buy, but they are able to get enough significant weapons to really make the play. And you can see, look at this aggressive defense here, both on A and on B. The first kill is actually going to be under Retina. That's massive.
Nice from Flash there, kind of holding in the apartments. Managed to pick one up as they're trying to ascend the stairs. Wasn't alone, though, so has sent someone there to follow, and you can see
got clean slate.
They hear it.
But meanwhile, this is a feint. There's 3 members working their way up Banana. The bomb in the back. Clean slate waiting. Oh, it's tense.
I'm waiting to see this push through on to B. What can they bring in? All 3 of them are there, so this should be quite a
There is no smoke.
run.
This is a full blind peek right now. Waiting for it. Oh, no, MX3.
Oof.
You hate to see it if you're Central Michigan.
Got to the face, and then another one. Oh, that is voltage right there. The double take with the op. Pressing forward with the op as well.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's so methodical. It's so clean. Michigan Tech, I mean, yes, they lose Retina early on in that round, and you could see that maybe that was a chance for Central Michigan to strike back, but they just come in and mow down the opposition and take over B site yet again. And Flash finds himself in that familiar position. Do I try to hunt people? And the answer is it doesn't matter because I'm dead.
I think it's not kind of trying to hood people. It's like,
Sorry, not Flash.
oh, I think they saw
There we
me.
go.
Gotta run.
Now Flash dead. Yes. Oh, good lord, that was rough. Yeah, 9-1. That is not a score you like to see for Central Michigan right now, and they're forced back on the Pistols.
But we did talk
they could
about
be
this
in some serious trouble at halftime.
We talked about this coming into the series, though. I think I literally said coming into this, you're talking about Inferno being a comfortable map. If they don't ban it, it could be a very strong map for Michigan Tech. And instead, they said it was one they were comfortable on. So you can see, I said it might nearly be a free win. Didn't think it would be as dominant as it is. But you could see why they've had so much control. Even coming into this final game, you could see Inferno is absolutely their map. At this point, you're almost just waiting for the flip to see how well they manage the CT side.
Yeah, and I wonder how much that's really going to change, right? Because you look at Inferno, it's a map that doesn't really have a huge change up in which side it's going to favor. But it is a map that, everybody needs to know. It's a bread and butter. But at the same time, this insane dominance on a map that you say in your interview you're comfortable playing on. Well, I really hope the Mirage game steps up. But it's crazy to say that when we're not even at halftime. But that's just how ahead Michigan Tech are.
I think you can now see they're consolidating an A. It looks like it's going to be a straight up 5v5, but it's pistols v rifles once again.
Yeah, well, they've made the pistol rush work before. Maybe they can do it again. But no, unfortunately, they just run straight into the meat grinder.
Yep. Bullet after bullet. See, yep.
Oh boy,
it's the double.
Yeah, didn't even get Retina down. Half the health.
Oh, that was the previous play. Apologies.
Oh yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we get the replay. Now we're seeing Flash go down. Now we're seeing main event. That's going to be it. 10 rounds to 1 from Michigan Tech.
And it's just the economy on the other side just basically doesn't exist. No money to pull this back.
They've just not
really,
had a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, they're able to buy here, but you're going to find yourself once again. It honestly doesn't seem to matter though. There are a couple of times where they take some guns away, but and Flash making the error, stepping into the fire there too with the molly.
You got to wonder that at the end of the half as well, if the pistol round might help change this for them. But at a certain point, like by the time you get there, if you continue at this rate, you're going to be dropping. Basically, you're just going to need 2 wins the other side to just close this out.
Yeah, I mean, in their Mirage, this is a map that has been banned pretty consistently for Michigan Tech, so they will be on like slightly less familiar territory. They won't be quite as warmed up, but I don't want to write CMU out just yet. It's not quite halftime, but they really need to start turning things around now. The push is coming through. Smoke up here as an advanced position's been taken. This is the standard Michigan Tech strategy we've seen. However, there is kind of a caveat. You can see over by top mid, there's 3 members of Michigan Tech actually moving. One will go back to collect the bomb, so we might actually see a feint here, and they might go to A site instead.
Yeah, they could just go for the A plant. They've left someone in sandbags up there, so if the rotation comes through banana, they'll have another. No, they're actually leaving the 2 there as well, just in case there's a pushback to that. But as you said, they're actually going to move over towards an A plant.
A lot of options this time, but they're pushing forward, and I think they're hoping to draw more.
No, they're dropping the bomb.
Yep, it's actually going to be 3. No, they take their time. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay, they
goodness.
get one.
And main event's gone. Okay.
Yep, now back up to their usual B plan.
Easy peasy. They do lose clean slate in the action, but hand goes out as well. And once again, the flank collapse from Retina. Specialist here on the opposite side as they go in. And it seems like it's just going to be cleanup duty. Bomb plant should go down pretty shortly. A little bit of a chaotic moment there as Koi does find his mark. Droid and Flash, last members standing, but the bomb plant down. Central Michigan are going to have the work cut out for him again.
Yeah, Flash has the off, but basically no health to back it up. So a single stray shot will take Flash out. Looking over at Droid as well.
Yeah, I do like kind of hanging out by Garden here to try and come in, but I feel like that trick only works a couple of times. And right now, it's going to be really hard. You're going to be driving right into a hornet's nest, and Michigan Tech just going to get the win at the end of the day.
Yeah, it does mean they saved enough that they should be able to get another full buy-in. So yeah, it's going to be rifles and ops once again. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking right at the other side. I just nope.
Yeah, not this time, but soon. I mean, they could
saving.
save one more round. The problem is they're running out of rounds.
Yeah,
they could be very well at risk of heading into the half on almost match point.
That's the concern, right? And so far, we see no reason to change that. There's going to be pistols again.
I want to see some adaptability. The one time we saw Central Michigan really start to come up aces, even if they didn't win the round on pistols, was when they went for a different strategy, when they went for an aggressive defense. But once again, they're doing a 3-2 split, and it hasn't worked for 12 rounds now. I don't know why it would work for 13.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little thing about the definition of insanity there, but at a certain point, you just have to keep trying. You're out of options. You have to kind of go with similar strategies. And they've tried like small little change up, trying to be a little bit adaptable, but it just hasn't mattered.
No, it really hasn't. So, we get ourselves into this one. Smoke comes down. They just clear into the site and take down Flash to kick things off. A little bit of damage dealt on the Koi and Voltage. And that is going to be Koi finished off with the pistols. You got to take what you can get here for CMU.
You can see kind of hovering there at the front.
They've got the bomb this time. They usually leave it behind, but hanging over by sandbags. And here comes the push.
Yep.
Next three going down. Hawaiian. Oh my goodness, it's just cleanup.
There's just no hope. I think that's in this round. Sorry, there's just no hope. They're just getting milled down. Be a quick.
Oh, you can try to take a gun off. Oh, they got one. Again, I mean, it's small victories, but it's just not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just feel like I'd call it more if it wasn't for the fact that there was always so heavily favored that the money doesn't matter, And that's the concern.
No, that's a fair point. We're just at that point of the game where it's like really hard for anything to really affect it. The half is going to have to be the reset, but CMU have to have such a hard reset. Maybe they can eke out a couple of rounds here. Here comes the full buy. We got M4s across the board and Flash on the off, but we need to see it pay dividends. You need to make something happen with it. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away.
Okay, do actually get hit by that.
Yeah, Hayon, but you can see Dead does take some damage too. No, Hayon's going to go down. And MX3 taking a lot of punishment. They do take Dead and Clean Slate out with them. So there is a numbers advantage here. But for how long is that going to go as it's just fire across the board? Low health bars on the Michigan Tech side. This is a chance for CMU to fire back.
Yeah, I think they can actually try to press this. They have a numbers advantage. They know where certain people are. You can see there's actually going to be rotation up towards the apartments. So you're going to have multiple members coming through there. Maybe try to turn it into a 3v2. But so far, looking like got the 2v2 for now.
Retina is so low, though, just trying to find a little angle to peek out here onto the A site. The bomb is coming up that way, too, as there's still a double defense for Central Michigan, so still playing very, very carefully, not going to let a flank go down either way. And it looks like the push is starting to come in here as they are moving their way through apartments and looking to come out on balcony. And that's going to be Koi taken down. Or excuse me, Koi taken down. And Voltage should as well. So Central Michigan do knock a second round and keep 4 alive. Desperately needed that.
Yeah, I think it still is looking quite rough for them, but they needed that reset. They needed something. They need another round. I said that the last time they managed to pull the 1 win off, but something to try counteract this momentum. It's full buy to full buy again, but you got to feel a little bit more comfortable now. Again, I think the big win here is look at the banana fight. That was one where they finally managed to take it. And
Speaking of banana fight.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. It's completely different from Michigan Tech. This time they just full rush push with 4 members and they instantly overwhelm the site.
Yep,
just when you thought they were
the rush.
Yeah, just when you thought they were able to like full on take it, just see the CT side was going to be able to fire back. Michigan Tech flip a switch. And they're going to be able to get that plant down on B side and mow down 2 of the CMU members in the process. Now 3 as Flash goes down, looking for main event, drop down to 12 hit points here as Retina was the only one that went down in that fight that we get to see again here. Oh boy. How the turntables, Tyke.
Still got Droid, just about actually gets picked up through the wall. Trying to blind fire as he got hit with Flash.
Yeah, there we go. So 13 rounds, at least a little bit more money available for Michigan Tech. But I do think we are going to be going into the half with a pretty big deficit now. And that's going to be tough for CMU to try and find an answer. Only 3 rounds in the second half needed for the Huskies to take map 1.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me was more so that as soon as they started to look even slightly comfortable with the tempo, you just change it up. Give them a rush. Put them on the back foot constantly. I really liked seeing that very quick adaptability. When you look at the other side, Central Michigan seems so out of options. But let's see how they change this up coming through on T side. They're going for the full 5-man rush up banana towards B side. We've seen these 5-man rushes pretty common from T side, especially during the pistol rounds.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's a nice classic for sure as they do rush up. And, Michigan Tech was able to do it before. CMU is going to try it this time as they do overwhelm the site, but they lose 2 in the process. It looks like on defense as well as attack, Michigan Tech are looking pretty good. And man, winning the pistol round with ease to go up to 14, and now 2 rounds away from taking Inferno. And this would be, if they don't drop another round, Tig, I think this might be the most dominant performance they've had, and that's saying something.
Yeah, and I actually really loved the adaptation there. So you saw this banana rush coming. Immediately what they did is they put 2 people around, and we were talking about these double peaks, these pincering of the opponent, and they just immediately apply it with the full team being brought into it. Really nicely done.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely beautiful seeing what they're able to get done here, and you can see the force buy comes through to try and just put this one away as they have for Central Michigan on the pistols, and they're going to get 1 full buy off if they don't win this next round, and that is going to be it. And they do take out MX3.
It's another 5-man rush though, and they have the better guns, but it doesn't actually matter. The numbers advantage helping out here hugely.
Yeah, that is actually pretty big, and they do manage to steal away a rifle of their own, so it's actually 3v2 right now, and the odds are a little bit evened as the fight turns to A. We've rarely seen A fights this map. It's all been on the B side, but now things are changing.
Okay, pick up 1.
Boy.
Now it's 2v2. There's actually
Scouts coming in handy.
brought in, yeah. Okay, you have the 2 angles, though, they're coming in from. Doesn't matter, though. Scout picks it off.
Yeah, so it's just going to be on Clean Slate, and I think Michigan Tech may have miscalculated in this particular instance right here, as Clean Slate is going to try and hold off both Hayon and Flash as the bomb plant is down around the side, just looking for the rush, and it's 1v1. Clean Slate still does it. Does he have time to defuse? He does. I can't believe Michigan Tech are going to pick this one up.
From, the jaws of, I won't say victory, but the first round, they were looking really comfortable, trying to get that T plant down. The first A plant we've seen as well, so maybe hoping that there was a little less comfort around the A side. It just doesn't matter, being willing to run forward there. And part of this as well, just the amount of pressure that is on the Central Michigan side. They're just feeling that, as Michigan Tech know that even if that didn't work, they have so many more rounds to work with.
Yeah, and at this point, this is the last round for Central Michigan if they want to stay alive in this game, and it's not looking good. Tig, 3v3, they do manage to find Retina and Clean Slate on the opposite side, so that's pretty big, but you still have a pistol on hand right now. They weren't even able to get the full buy off. If they can pick up this round, they can stay alive, but that is the last chance as Hayon goes down, peaking at just the wrong moment. Voltage, former pro there, coming up huge, does get dropped, turns into a 2v2.
2v2, both have rifles. Little weaker on the other side. I was going to say Dead Out not being able to... It doesn't even matter. Just immediately pops in the corner.
It's all on Droid,
though.
There's the peak. That's going to be... Oh my goodness, he does get 1, but Koi's healthier. Oh boy. Koi has 100% of his health right now. Droid has to play this perfectly. Bomb plant is down. Does force Michigan Tech to come to him.
He's going to hold close left. No, he's going to go wider.
I mean, you can afford to, you don't have to win this
side.
one, but you might as well try for it if you're Michigan Tech. Goes for the peak on the other side, and...
Okay.
That's going to be Central Michigan just barely picking that one up. 3rd round.
It's literally required for them to stay in this game. But more importantly, I think this is important for morale, right? You don't want to go down 16-2. You want to just have eked out a few, meager rounds. You really want to try... Even if this isn't the victory for you, you at least want to try even up that score a little bit.
Yeah, stick a few of them together. Now, this is something we haven't seen very much, Tig. Central Michigan have forced Michigan Tech onto an eco round. Only a scout picked up. So this is the chance where they will have gun superiority for once.
Let's see what the response is. They've actually kind of coalesced around B site, expecting a push through banana here.
It's a very strong defense, and it does look like the banana push is coming. There's 2 advance up there by car. But I think they peeked and got some information because they're actually making a beeline now for A instead.
I was going to say, if I were Central Michigan, I just want to avoid B side at all costs. A side is just generally that little bit easier for them because B side has just been what Michigan Tech has played around all map. And it's come up so strong for them time and time again.
Yeah, so they're trying to get a little bit of an information ping here on how many people are defending the A side. And what they don't know, right, is it's just Voltage, who has the scout, admittedly. But, they're kind of putting a lot on his back right now to try and deter them from the site. Voltage does get a spot, but they aren't able to get any kills right now. Hayon does take some damage, so does Main Event. And they actually are going to move and pivot again to Banana.
The important thing there, though, is, as you said, it tells them, okay, there's people defending A, maybe we should rotate out. Whereas what's actually happening is this is now turned into a 4v4. Yes, they have the gun superiority, but they're also starting to crunch a little bit down in time.
Yeah, and I think there's some hesitation here, and this is what you don't see from the Huskies. Michigan Tech have been gung-ho with it, whatever they do, and they rush in now on the side of Central Michigan. Guns a-blazing, but it ends up turning very bloody very fast. A 2v2 here, and now you see the rush coming out from 1 Voltage trying to get to the opposite side. Bomb is not yet planted.
You have the 1v2,
Will
the
they be able to do it
replay of that kill again. Just
There
an
we
easier
go.
time just spraying with the rifle in comparison to the pistol, trying to find those quick shots, but as you said, you've 1 Voltage. 3 seconds left. They do manage to get the plant off.
That's just barely enough. So they're going to wait, and they do manage to light him up, but not enough to finish the job. Voltage running back. They will take the round. So this time, just gun superiority really carried the day. But again, it was an expensive round, Ty. They lost 3 of their weapons.
Yeah, but I mean, even then as well, you have the 1v2. It's important for them, right? They have every round counts, and they're just trying to find it. Here again, it looks like it's going to be another pistol round from Michigan Tech, but they have all the time in the world here. They're waiting for that full buy. They don't need to go any half buys. They're in no rush.
Yeah, you can safely eco at this point. You're still managing to take some guns away. They do lose clean slate. 1 Voltage dropping incredibly low right now, but they took down Hayon. They took down MX3. If you're the team with the pistols, you're feeling good about that.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a very aggressive op coming up there as well, which you might be able to kind of contest.
All right, main event's taken down. I mean,
3 down.
are we really going to see a win on an eco?
Looks like we might. Again, we were talking about the pressure they're under, but here comes the op potential.
Yep, scoping. Walking through here, and it looks like they are going to stop.
Yep,
Just behind
wasn't
cars. Flash
expecting
gets
it.
taken down. Retina firing through. It's a 1v1 Droid and Koi at the moment, and this could be it for the first map. Droid going to get the plant down as Koi, way on the other side of the map, is going to have to come to him. And that is going to be the save. Central Michigan, 5 rounds picked up here, trying to climb back, but it's so close every time, Tide. My heart can't take it.
I mean, you got to give them credit there, though. That was Droid functionally 1v3ing, managed to get the double kill, immediately wins the 1v1 right after it. Big respect there for Droid managing to pull what is such a difficult game for them at this stage.
Yeah, once again, we're on pistols. But again, Michigan Tech, every single time, they managed to get a huge amount of damage. Look at that. They get some chip. They didn't lose all 3 members. And now it's going to be the meat grinder on the opposite side.
Spoken a little too soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought,
comfortable.
I never wanted to count these guys out. Because with pistols, they've done some pretty crazy stuff. But now we got the buy. This is going to be Michigan Tech flexing their muscles. And we'll see if they can put this away.
You see 3 M4s there as well.
Yeah. And they got the AUG too.
Yeah, no op, but I certainly don't think that the op hasn't been the one deciding most of these rounds.
No, it's not really. I'm kind of surprised too because I kind of thought I would see Flash doing some pretty serious opping, or maybe 1 Voltage doing the same. But instead, it's just going to be Michigan Tech 1 Voltage finding out Droid and Hayon from the high ground. Absolutely beautiful play right there. That's going to be a huge one as the bomb going to get picked up in the middle of window, just about. And this is going to be tough for Central Michigan to get the plant down. 3v5.
MX3 taking the tiniest bit of damage through the smoke there. And they actually have 3 people prepared in A, so this is actually slightly unusual for Michigan Tech. Might be expecting a more aggressive A rush here.
They actually are going to turn their attention. Instead, it's going to be a B site, and they do manage to pick off Retina. Main event. Doesn't know who else is here right now, but if they can get the plant off, this could be game-changing. They lose main event and MX3. It is all down to Flash, and this is for the whole map. Let's see if he can make it. Not going to happen. 16 rounds to 6. Michigan Tech Huskies.
I mean, you got to give them credit for at least holding on probably a lot longer than we expected coming into that T round. But more importantly, Michigan Tech Huskies, this is their favorite map. This is the one they always open with, and you can see why. So commanding.
Honestly, it was incredible. Like in that first half, it was hard enough just to see them stringing 2 wins together. And there was a moment where Central Michigan were able to get a couple of wins, but they were up against ecos. We could still see how powerful the Huskies were bearing down on them, even in that aggressive defense. And I think you really called it in the middle of it all, Tig, where there was just every time the tempo got comfortable enough for Central Michigan to get into the groove, it got mixed up on them. Michigan Tech just came in, they did something different. They did an aggressive rush up B site with like 4 or 5 members, or when they were on CT, they did an aggressive defense, and they just kept their opponents guessing. And this is some of the highlights that we're seeing from that event. Honestly, from the get-go, it was Michigan Tech's map, just like it's been all tournament long.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, I actually talked about coming into this series that Inferno is kind of a series definer for me, because both teams described it as comfortable, but Michigan Tech, of course, having looked more comfortable on it once again, and consistently throughout this tournament, having not dropped a map, Inferno being their first one. This is how they've started each and every series they've gone for, and each and every series has been 2-0.
Yeah, so far so good for them. I am curious if that can change, because critically what we do have coming up next is Mirage, which is a map that Michigan Tech have not had to play on, but was very specifically called by Central Michigan as being a comfortable one for them as well. But they did say Inferno is comfortable for them too, and I may think they will, I think they might change their tune a little bit after this one.
Yeah, but certainly even then the third map is Overpass, which we've seen a bit more comfort on from Michigan Tech. But looking back towards Mirage now, though, we have seen that banned consistently, so I would like to see CMU step up here. They've gone, okay, this is a map we were comfortable on, but Michigan Tech was also very comfortable on it. Mirage, we should have a much stronger edge.
Yeah, and this is their pick. This is specifically what they wanted for their first drop in. So we'll see how they're able to change it. Now, there's obviously a little bit, difference in how it's favored. The CT side is going to be a little bit more favored on a map like Mirage compared to the relatively even Inferno. I'm curious to see how it all goes down for sure, because CMU, you make it all the way here to the finals. They did drop a game in their previous round in the semis, so we did absolutely predict Michigan Tech as the favorites, but I think I was still kind of surprised with just how commanding this victory was.
That's it, because coming into a finals, especially, generally you kind of go, even if you've been really dominant over the course of a tournament, a finals is where you kind of define that, right? Where you should be challenged the most, ideally. But certainly, they've yet to look too challenged. And this isn't a statement of CMU playing particularly bad. Michigan Tech Huskies just look so comfortable.
I mean, they've ran the bracket, right? We saw the 2-0 against Durham Lords, we saw the 2-0 against LVC, and then against Northeastern. Are they going to make it 4-for-4 and just, run? I want to say run train, but they ban train, so they won't. All across the tournament. I mean, it's entirely possible. I think CMU have a chance to make a statement of their own on Mirage. Can they take the map away, and can they force a Game 3 of the series? Something that Michigan Tech have not had to deal with this entire tournament long. They've got to be feeling some pressure, but there is a little bit of downtime to mentally reset. They did take a timeout earlier in that game. The half flip did seem to reinvigorate them a little bit. The question is it going to be enough, Tyke?
And I think that the more important thing for me is that while we talk about them as a very dominant team, Michigan Tech, on their second maps, have historically been just much, much weaker. You've seen these 16-4s, these 16, even I think 16-3.
They're still winning, but yeah, they're winning a lot.
On the second ones,
dominant.
it tends to be much closer to 16-12. Generally, both teams ending in the double digits in those rounds. So when you're coming in up against a finalist, maybe that's where you finally get pushed over the edge on that.
No, I think that's a good point. And that was specifically on Overpass. We haven't seen them play on Mirage. They have been banning it. So we may find out exactly why that is. And it's hard to say a map is going to make all that difference. But when you are so comfortable on a particular map, like they are in Inferno, it is hard to see them losing when they have that level of comfort. But Mirage is going to be a different game. We're going to see what they can do. I think there's a lot of interesting places you can go on Mirage to try and find the openings. B-side in particular has a lot of really cool parts. You can go the apartments of the backside, down through Van. You can go through Market instead. I always love watching this map. It's just a lot of fun, and we are going to get into it in just a minute. But of course, here's your fun little pre-match with the knife round, and we will be kicking off on a classic map, Mirage, for Game 2 here.
Even just for the mentality coming into a series, when you take so strongly, that's got to be a big concern.
No, that's absolutely true, and you need a mental reset if you're CMU right now. And the question is, will they get it? Will they get it with their favored map? We're going to take a look at things to start, the pistol round to go, and everyone's just going to have a little bit of fun with this. A nice split, and instantly MX3 gets picked off. It's a good start for Michigan Tech.
Seeing now, they're actually okay. This is decent for them, as you said, going for these kind of long shots with the pistols. Managed to find 2 of them.
Yeah. the long firefight for sure with the pistols. It sometimes takes a little while, but maybe not that long. Michigan Tech are just going hunting. All of a sudden, main event finds himself alone. So if I had to hazard a guess here, Tig, I would say Michigan Tech Huskies are taking the pistol round on Mirage as well, but they may not be doing it as easily. Main event dies hard.
Yeah, I mean, you see actually just hiding there, trying to find what is functionally a 1v3. There's no one flanking at least, so you know the angle they're coming from, but...
Oh my goodness.
You actually got one. Okay.
He won't go down. He's taken two at this point, as they've slowly closed in.
You have the pincer, though, so you should be able to go double peek this if necessary.
Yeah, Dead has a good sight there as he's kind of sitting behind the ticket box.
Yeah.
And there we go. They do manage to finish him off. So Michigan Tech do it. Don't have to worry about losing members, right? It's all on pistols. So the first round, yet again, that's 3 pistol rounds in a row going to Michigan Tech.
But this is, again, for Michigan Tech, something that we saw the last time, is if they win the pistol round, they just immediately go for the buy. They just buy in whatever they can. They want to put as much pressure down as possible on Central Michigan.
And they are able to do that. They don't really care necessarily what they're buying across the board. We've seen a little bit of an uptick in the FAMAS buys for sure. There's a Scout and an SMG coming in as well. And Retina, my goodness, that was dirty.
That was, especially because you actually ran out of rifle bullets, finished all of them with the pistol.
Yeah, you just look at that, you're like, oh my God, what is going on right now? It was just a perfect round.
That's so...
Okay, well, that's only 2 rounds in. I don't want
to say that. That was rough.
Yeah,
right,
I don't want to call it
as well.
yet, Tyke, but that, they clearly look pretty comfortable in this one as well. So still sticking on the guns they had from last time, not having to rebuy. There is a full buy coming in here for CMU as they get their rifles, AKs across the board. And there is a big split happening. No concerted effort as you have people on Cat, you have people going through apartments, you have somebody all the way back in Palace, all the way back at A-Ramp. They're not even picking up the bomb. I think Central Michigan are taking this very slow.
No, it's like they're just straight up scouting out, trying to see if they can find little pickings here. Someone maybe slightly out of position or someone on rotation. Pretty wide berth they've given.
All right, so taking our time, slowing things down a little bit, but as soon as we say it, Droid gets dropped. So all of a sudden it's a 5v4 again. Michigan Tech. They do not want to give any of it up here. Flash takes some punishment as well. They turn it around on a voltage. That's huge, taking out the scout player. Hang on. Does find one. Okay. Not before he's dropped down. That is going to be Michigan Tech picking it up again, losing only voltage.
Now again, something to note though, in fairness, is that this map is somewhat CT favored. Not massively, I don't believe. But
yeah, I don't think it's huge, but it's definitely going to be favoring them a little bit more. But yeah, how much of that is that particular side of things, and how much of it is Michigan Tech just really rolling right now? I mean, we saw them have a very dominant start, and they're doing it yet again. Pistols, once again, as Central Michigan have to go eco after a full buy. Voltage looking for a little bit of revenge from last time. An aggressive defense here as they sit just over by underpass.
It's just running up mid there. Gonna run them down. Actually does manage to take some out.
Yeah, it's going to be Flash. They do lose Dead, though. So running through here, Retina is going to grab Hayon on the opposite side. It's just an absolute bloodbath. The pistols are getting dropped as the Huskies take a round number 4. They even keep Koi alive through it all.
It's starting to look a little too familiar for Central Michigan here.
Yeah, I agree with you. They go for another full buy this time. They do have an op on Flash. Does that make a difference? And now you see a little bit more of an aggressive push here. They're actually running through house and making a move towards apartments. There is a triple defense, so this will be 3v3 unless that one member pushes out a little bit too far here. MX bringing up the rear at the moment, does manage to find 2, and they think they can trade this a lot better, but the bomb gets dropped down way over back at house. So they have the moment, but they don't have the bomb.
Yeah, that flank was huge as well. Took out 2 members who weren't expecting it and now have the bomb covered. It'll be difficult for them. And that's another member taken out trying to find it. Yep.
I mean, for a shining moment there, Tig, I thought Central Michigan had the push, but they lose the bomb way in the back, and they're unable to capitalize on the momentary numbers advantage they have, and it ends up just kind of collapsing now. You have Hayon here, maybe just saving. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how aggressively you can push into this. They actually
you're right
the off on the other side. Yeah.
If you go peek through apartments, you're dead.
Yeah. Danger, danger. High voltage over there.
I do like what you did there. Big fan of Electric Six. Great
Yeah,
band.
it's a great song.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's just been action, but it's all been Michigan Tech's column today, and it seems like it may not matter the map.
Yeah, here they go. Eventually going to start worming their way back around. Yeah, I mean...
Yep.
I kind of
And
thought
they even
the
keep
save
their
was
off,
coming
too.
in for a while. I guess they just decided they were going to go hunting, and yep.
Yeah, not much you can do. So I'm wondering what's going through the heads of the CMU players right now, if they are starting to get flashbacks to Inferno. And if that's the case, when mental boom, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's it. When we talked about Inferno being so important for the momentum of the series, this is what we mean. It's the fact that now, even if, each round kind of resets, it just doesn't matter because you feel so much pressure coming into it. And you can see now they're even going for these kind of pistol rushes, trying to get something off. They do manage to take out 2, but it's still going to be really difficult for them to fight. Again, it's just 1 pistol left now.
They might get the plant down. That's the critical thing right now. If you get the plant, at least you can get a little bit of money here. But they're down to just MX3, pistol in hand, and that's about it. He tries to go for the plant through the smoke, and he's so low.
Oh.
Does get the plant. So they're going to get a little bit of money off of that, but that's about it.
They should swap over who's defusing as well.
Yeah, so Michigan Tech going to take round number 6 there. And yeah, I do like the ganache to try and rush, to try and get that aggressive push going. But when you don't have the guns, it makes it really hard to do that. I want to see that on a buy round. They play so conservatively when they have a full buy. And here it comes again. What are they going to do? This time, they're making moves with 3 members down towards A, but the bomb stays back over by side alley for the time being. There's a big cover here. Nicely split by Michigan Tech.
He's actually just kind of hiding, basically, over at A ramp, just kind of hiding under that, waiting to see if they want to kind of push together, go for a large... There actually isn't that many on A side. They've actually rotated back now to have 2 members kind of hovering back.
You can see MX3, who was kind of hanging out over by top mid, just gets picked off, and now they realize we have to go. It's 4v5. We got to get this plant down and defend it. They have a moment to do it, but they can't find Koi. There they go, but they lose so many members in the process. It is just Flash, and they do not have the bomb planted. CMU, it went from bad to worse here, and Flash is trying to stop people from pushing in, and I don't think he's going to be able to do much. Scope is on, but the bomb's not down yet.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to go for the plant at some point, and with the amount of people pressing forward onto you, I don't think you're going to be given that opportunity.
Yeah, Koi and Retina both down. It's a 1v3, but there is an op. We've seen Magic made with that gun a few times before. Plant's not there just yet. Flash does take some damage and gets taken down by Dead. That's going to be round number 7 in favor of Michigan Tech.
Yeah, I mean, an
CMU's
op's not going to
map.
handle... At the end of the day, an op's just not going to handle the rush of 3 players all at once. And that's what they went for, just coming in from odd angles to make sure they couldn't get picked off. Again, it's just Michigan Tech looking so comfortable in this, well, I was going to say this map, but even just this series as a whole.
In this tournament, I mean, we talked about how they've had some harder times on their second map, but we haven't even seen them play Mirage. We don't even really know what their level is on this map in particular. But so far, up against Central Michigan, it seems like they're doing quite well. Dead does go down in that one, but they take Flash down with them, and it's going to be rifles all around, plus the op from Voltage, who does take a little bit of punishment as the move from Central Michigan is over to the B site. Will they be able to get the plant down? They just keep losing members, but at least they're trading back and forth this time around. Voltage going for the scope of the tap, but he gets taken down himself, Tig. 2v3, make that 2v2, and it's just fire across the way. 1v1 now, and that's going to be it. Koi. Ugh.
Nicely done. Koi pressing forward. Again, what I really like about every time we see these big shootouts coming in from Michigan Tech is that you always have these coordinated pushes. It's never just that single person peaking at a bad time. It's either there's someone supported or there's someone coming in, most importantly, from a completely different angle. It's so many of these plays.
Yeah, you can really see the level of skill that Michigan Tech bring to this, and they clearly know more than just one map. You have to be rounded out, but we were wondering what they were going to be able to do here, and it's just looking so good for them. There was a lot of a back and forth. It was a pretty big slugfest in that one over at B-side, but you have enough numbers to overwhelm, and you can take the win. Once again, a buy from Central Michigan, but it's looking a little forced. Not a lot left in the bank after that.
Yeah, and I think you're coming back to this as someone who's kind of quickly looking for the cliff notes of this game, and it's always going to look like Michigan Tech were never under a huge amount of pressure. And for now, at the very least, that's just been the name of this game, the name of this series.
So far, so true. Up in the hands of Voltage once again. 8-0. CT side for Michigan Tech on Mirage. We were talking about how they look on Overpass. I don't know if we're going to see that one today, Tig. Clean Slate does get dropped, though.
Okay. One down each side. You see they're kind of trying something different. They're kind of moving around through mid here. They have full control of it. They're not being contested on mid.
Oh, that's actually huge. They managed to take out both Koi and Retina, but then they immediately lose 2 more members, and it seems like every time CMU have a chance to make a play, Michigan Tech has a counterplay. It's incredible how consistent they are.
And this is the support I'm talking about, though. One person goes down, there's always someone nearby to quickly cover that angle and try to get those return kills.
Yeah, it's incredible how consistent this team can be with finding revenge kills, with finding the angles in the first place, and there we go. Droid is going to get some more damage. Has the bomb in hand, and there's going to be the rush up. Not going to go for the plant just yet. Does throw the smoke. There it goes. Drops it, and is going to try to go for the straight-up firefight.
Goes to the fake
10
out
seconds,
though, on the plant. This time I'm going to stick it. Oh, actually, no. Just continuing with the fake outs, just in case he can maybe pick someone off here.
Does manage to get it down, but unfortunately, gets dropped in the process. One Voltage will be able to go for the defuse, or should be able to go for the defuse. Taking his time about it, though. Yeah, you know, it's one of those cases where you kind of fake yourself out.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the play. The idea was throw down the smoke, fake the plant, try to pick someone off who's going to rush towards you or go for kind of maybe a spread fire. At the end, it just didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, he kind of went for the double fake, too. I think that was the thing that did him in, because he had enough time while Droid was sitting, or rather, while Koi was sitting back in the apartments to just be able to get the plant off and maybe hold himself, but instead kind of second guessed, and that's why it's 9-0 instead of 8-1.
I mean, it's not the only reason, but certainly it's in there.
Yeah, it's one of a grab bag. Let's say time.
Yeah, I think we can take the timeout to take stock. I mean, again, the timeout makes sense here. They need a massive change of pace. 9-0. This is match point for you guys.
I think this is where they took it last time, though.
Yeah,
like it's the exact same place, and you know, if nothing else changes, we might well be looking at a half where Michigan Tech are, you know, a couple games away, a couple rounds away from taking the series, taking the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's just never been under a huge amount of pressure. Again, this is just the comfort of a team that has this kind of extra backing, this I don't even know how to define it, just this extra level of coordination, I think, in comparison to some of those Central Michigan, even the pushes, the defense, all of it just seemed that much stronger coming in from Michigan Tech.
Yeah, CMU, like they're not playing badly. They're just, it's a little wild. It's a little less coordinated. And I think a team that is as on point as Michigan Tech can pick that apart consistently. And that's kind of what we saw from the discussion. You know, in the preview of the match, Koi was talking about how, you know, they relied on some individual talent, the likes of Voltage, the likes of Retina, but that they had a team that their real strength was the fact that they always covered each other. And I think we've seen that play out time and time again, as you've mentioned.
I think that's it. Look at now the hold. They managed to pick up a few either side.
That's clean slate.
Yeah.
Oh, again,
okay.
Every time they find a kill, it's return fire. We get to see that again in an instant replay here. Koi, from his perspective, finding a big angle on the remaining members of Central Michigan. So now it's down to main event.
Yeah, it's just a nice double kill there as well. Quick to pick off both. Nicely done. Now it's main event. Has the AK, but going into 2 rifles and an op. Managed to pick off one. Nicely done.
Yeah, one before you go down.
But that's again, that's the support every time. It's a revenge kills. There's so few times where Michigan Tech have lost someone and not immediately returned.
And that's why you see them spread out, right? Like they always are very aware of their space. And I think that's what makes this team so deadly.
I think there's also a level of, when we talk about the speed at which some of these calls are made, if you look at the fact we talked about how there was a lot more hesitancy when Central Michigan were making kind of big plays together, whereas as soon as you see someone drop, you see someone sprint to that angle, make sure they can find those kills, and it's worked out for them consistently.
Yep. Here comes the rush, trying to go through mid, just with the 5 pistols in hand, but they've already lost Flash. And Droid, Haon soon to follow. They take Retina out in return. But really, it's just peanuts. They're not getting a lot of bang for their buck here. Not that they're spending a whole lot of buck.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? So, sometimes you go out shopping on a budget and you could still be disappointed with what turns up, you know?
That kind of feels bad. if you are, I mean, they're basically dumpster diving at this point, Tygan. If they're still not finding anything that works for them, I feel bad for Central Michigan here. But they do get a full buy off this time around. Let's see if it makes any changes for them. They need to arrest the momentum. I think they're in an even worse position than they were in Inferno, though, at 11-0.
Yeah.
A little bit of tap damage on a 1 voltage. But MX3 taking more. Big spread out here. 2 through apartments.
See, they're kind of pushing. They've gotten control of mid, but you've seen that Michigan Tech have generally given them control of mid and then held at the sites, held at those corridors when they have to kind of funnel through and give themselves the option, or you can give Michigan.
And they've done the
Tech
same thing on
option
Inferno too.
Yeah,
like you see this over and over again. So also it looks like they're still holding mid, but there's a bit of a retreat on apartments as they look to go pick up the bomb. MX3 gets finished off. Droid taken down to nearly dead at 5 hit points here. And I wonder if they switch this up. I mean, taking control of mid's all well and good, but where are they going to go from it? They want to go through jungle and get into A side? I don't know if they have really any options now as Haon gets dropped, or excuse me, main event gets dropped. It's only Haon remaining, and he can't even find another kill with that full buy. They only removed 1. They were doing better on pistols, Tyke.
but again, this is the speed. We saw the revenge kill come in. We saw the person stay on mid, overlooking it and taking them off each time. And then once it came down to that 1v2, you go for the double peek, immediately take them out. And that's the kind of speed of coordination I'm talking about. You saw there at the end, the double peek meant they had no one to directly shoot at, they couldn't side, and ended up getting taken out immediately. Beautiful.
Yeah, no, and just all the entire team working as a well-oiled machine, I think, is really just the critical part of this, because we have seen individual plays come up pretty huge from every single one of these members. It is actually really hard for me to talk about a standout player, right? You know, the mind wanders to Voltage because of the op, because of the knowledge that he's going to be the ex-pro player here, and all eyes will be on him. But honestly, I think everyone on Michigan Tech has played at the level.
Yeah, I think it's consistency is something we talk about as well. Round after round, coming out with kind of different plays, but to the same level of skill.
Always, for sure. Voltage does get taken down, but once again, instantly revenge. Haon Droid. They always trade more efficiently. It's the value. Of course, it's a pistol round. You have to expect you're going to be able to do a little bit more damage there as Retina does get taken down. No revenge on that one. Central Michigan have taken control of A-site, but they need to get a plant down fast.
You have MX3s there as well. The one without a pistol that might have a better chance of holding. 3v3 at least.
They're taking their time. They're actually not going for the plant yet.
But this is what we talk about. Their plays tend to be a lot slower. It tends to be Michigan Tech who move quickly. But Central Michigan may find themselves picks as a result here. They're hunting.
I mean, yeah, look at this. You can see Koi is waiting
just
way back by CT spawn right now, and he peeks. Oh my goodness. What just happened there? They just looked at each other for a second.
Yeah, I think everyone's just taking a quick stock there and going, okay, something
Like, wait,
seriously went wrong. Let's try this again.
Something seriously going wrong for Central Michigan now. All of a sudden, once again, the turntables, and it is going to be Flash to try and save the day, but that's going to be it. I think as they take the round, time runs out. No chance on the bomb plant. I don't know why they didn't go for the plant there, Tyke.
Yeah, it seems that they want to go for those hunts, try to find something different. And it looks like they're at Michigan Tech are the ones actually taking their time out here. Maybe deciding how they want to play the rest of this game. Maybe, especially before they maybe do the swap. Something they're going to kind of have a quick breakdown on.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be susceptible to this, but sometimes when a team is this far up, you can start to buy a little bit too much into the hype and maybe make some reckless decisions. And that allows a team to come back into the game on the opposite side. So, you know, if I was a betting man, I'd say that they're probably just saying, all right, guys, we almost got this. We're three rounds away. It's not even halftime yet. Let's just keep it calm, keep it cool, and we can finish the job.
Yeah, it's fine. Take the time out as well. It's unlikely you're going to need it anytime particularly soon coming into this. So,
yeah, I mean, you might as well. And, you know, there's always the good old mind games, right? Maybe they're just taking it to be like, we don't need this. You guys do, though.
Yeah, and you need to grab a drink. You know, just take stock.
Yeah, casually. Hey, stay hydrated. It's important.
I don't know. Anytime I competed at collegiate level, well, sorry, I won in Ireland, went international, and got immediately destroyed. So,
you know, that happens. It happens in
Yeah.
a lot of games. I used to,
I've
you know,
been
we
here.
talked about Hearthstone earlier. I used to be like a semi-competitive. If you ever heard of Duel Masters, it was kind of like Magic for kids almost. Maybe not just for kids, but it was a much more simplified version of it. I did exactly that.
I insulted their fan base heavily. Maybe not just for kids.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, I was a kid when I played it. I made regionals and then got destroyed, so I know that feeling, Tig.
Yeah.
And Central Michigan are certainly knowing a familiar feeling now as they lose main event almost immediately on their bye round. Koi's still sitting on a pistol too. 13-0.
Yeah.
Retina. Okay, revenge kill. MX3 looking for something on the Central Michigan side. Not going to find it just yet. They have taken control of the A side, but we have yet to see the plant coming down a couple times here. This is the advantage, 4v3. Are they going to be able to do it? Is this the time to shine? You need to pick up rounds, otherwise it's lights out.
Okay, this actually looks like it might be their round, though. They have good positioning on A. They've gotten the plant down, and this is where it's going to be really difficult for Michigan Tech to actually play into. They have the high ground against them. Good kill.
There we go. Much needed first round, Tig, and you know, you wouldn't want to go into half with absolutely nothing to be able to lose on a pistol round, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. Even if Central Michigan take this next round, which they very well could, if Michigan Tech win the pistol round, Central Michigan have to force bomb pretty much.
Yeah.
Or, well, I mean, I guess they can wait one round and then they get one bye round after that. But, you know, it kind of
very dangerous.
You get to that weird dynamic now where, like, if Michigan Tech win this one, Central Michigan pretty much have to win the pistol round.
Yeah.
So very important as the smoke comes in. MX3 getting dropped through it. Well, that's not a good start for CMU.
Play here. See. Again, it's funny enough though. That was actually the CT pause or the CT timeout rather, and it ended up seemingly favoring Central Michigan as they kind of came back in and kind of regathered. At least for
yes.
one round, but one round is a lot more than the amount of rounds they had before that. You know, infinitely.
Very
more,
true.
I might say.
Yeah, that's definitely how maths work. I know that. But the takeover of mid has happened once again here for CMU. But as you mentioned before, Michigan Tech never seemed to mind. They're okay to cede this ground because they know they can defend both sites relatively well. The question is, where does Central Michigan put their weight? At a 4v5, you kind of have to go in unison, I feel. And now it's 4v3. They've lost hand. Make that 2.
Okay.
This is disastrous right now. They have their op, but they can't see anyone.
Very quickly picked off there again. Just good coordinated pushes coming in. Finding the place. Here's one voltage holding this area. Actually doesn't get the kill though.
Yeah, they miss out on the shot. Flash taking a little bit more damage and a big shot there. Turns attention to try and get the kill. Doesn't find it. And that's going to be it. 14-1 at the half. And I dare say it, you know, a pistol round is suddenly a lot more important, Tig.
Yeah, they might want to go back to what your original idea was coming in from map 1. I think we want to see that knife round again. You know, the gentleman's knife round. Just kind of run at each other.
Everybody runs faster with a knife. It's going to be a lot quicker.
Sometimes, you know, yeah, mobility for damage, range, versatility, all that. You know, sometimes the mobility, you gotta consider it at least, you know?
I suppose you do. So here it goes. And, you know, I mean, if you're Michigan Tech, you got to be flying high at this point. You are so close to closing this out in an even more dominant fashion than we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
Only losing one round so far on a map that you yourself have banned.
Yeah, I think that's kind of goes to show just how strong they are as well. This is their least favorite. This is one of their least favorite maps.
Yeah, pistol round
Very
might be going the way of
impressive.
CMU though. It's 3v2 at the moment. Yeah, voltage backing away. They're going to cede a little bit of ground on this one. Okay, and bomb plant does go down. It's 2v2. 1v1. That's going to be just barely taken by Central Michigan, and they very much needed this to get the buy off, Tig.
Yeah, I don't think that's fine, but you also did get the plant off, so at least that's something again for Michigan Tech. They can quite try rush forward with that. They have that little bit of extra money. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a force. They also have the time. They can hold up if they need.
You just have such a level of comfort right now. You know you're so close to winning, and your opponents are so far away, that if you lose the odd round here and there, it's fine. You don't have to win the pistol to really make it happen. And we will see a pretty aggressive push towards A side, it seems. as the split here. Central Michigan going for a big old buy, and it's a full bargain bin. The Scout, the FAMAS comes in, a P90 as well. I love it.
On the other side, you've seen they kind of funneled it into 2 rifles and an SMG there.
As well as having a handful of pistols on top. So, slow push in. Aeon gets dropped immediately. They turn around, getting revenge onto Retina. It's firefights over at the A site. Once again, MX3 is going to get dropped. CT's lower numbers, but they're dealing with pistols. Can they overcome? Koi finding damage. Oh.
Okay, actually, nice.
There we go, Ty. Yeah, that looked Terry for a minute.
Yeah, actually, most importantly though, they're pressing forward. You can see actually Michigan Tech trying to go on the aggressive, trying to put them on the back foot by pushing forward into them. But Central Michigan actually managing to save it there towards the end.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, one thing that is worth mentioning at this point, the fact that the map is a little bit more CT favored too,
yes,
certainly going to help finally for Central Michigan. It's just so rough how many rounds they did lose against Michigan Tech early on. You can't really afford to drop them. One more and it's going to be match point. But Michigan Tech have time. So just like we saw in Inferno, they're going to casually eco just a little bit. And they will go for the rush onto B, and they run straight into the meat grinder once again. This time, it's a perfect round for Central Michigan. Just about, I should say.
I think they'll
be feeling a little better about that.
Yeah, of course. You're
Yeah.
saying this is CT favored. Now it's full buy into full buy, though. This is where it could become difficult for them. Or almost full buys. Very least.
So, yeah, some of the weapons still not necessarily being picked up. But I think Central Michigan trying to hedge bets to see if they do get their backs against the wall, they will have a chance to full-on buy once again. Voltage making his way to mid-boxes. Does manage to take down MX3 on the opposite side of the map here. And it's a 4v5. Michigan Tech in the driver's side. Make that even game as Retina gets taken out.
You see kind of going for these kind of flanking plays, but actually getting called out here. Managed to be kicked off.
Okay. All right. This is looking good for Central Michigan. They're making use of the weapon buys they have. They can keep that momentum going. It'll certainly help.
And actually,
down to just Koi.
Yeah. They're actually the ones getting consistently in these kind of shootouts. They're the ones finding the advantage.
And that's the change-up. That's actually huge right now. Is it going to be enough, though? 1v4, they should be able to finish this job off onto Koi, but you don't want to lose any more members in the process. You've got to stick to the guns you've got for the time being, unless you really want to try to get that big buy-off. Flash does get taken down, so Koi going hunting and finding something.
You know, I think that's it. Just kind of Koi's just sitting on A side, kind of open. Yeah, so managed to get picked off because he's trying to run around, figure out an angle where he's not going to be picked off, but can't find it in time.
Central Michigan starting to string wins together here, I should say, but they're dealing with the pretty hefty bank accounts of everybody on the Michigan Tech side. That is another full buy for them. We'll see if they're able to take this one again. Central Michigan needing to stay alive, can't afford to drop more than one more round, or this tournament is all over for them.
Waiting to see what they can find. Nothing yet. You see that they're going for these full man rushes and having just one person off the side to maybe find some people on the rotation when they see how aggressive this push is, but instead...
they lost Voltage.
Yep, so been taken out.
And Retina, so M3 and Hayon getting followed through once again. However, a very aggressive push in onto Michigan Tech turns out to be quite expensive at the moment. It's a 3v3 technically, but dead is very, very low in this one. Smokes, Molotovs flying left and right. Bomb not planted just yet. They finish off Droid. They finish off Flash. Michigan Tech, they're looking for match point here.
1v3. This is a difficult one for them, but they have been pushed kind of to the back of A. Way around. Going to see if they can come back up from CT spawn, basically.
He's praying for a peek right now. And he will not be able to find it. Michigan Tech Huskies taking round 15 for themselves. Now it is match point. This is the last chance for Central Michigan to stay alive here at the NACE 2021 Spring Championships.
The pressure's on. I can feel it. You know, it's so hard when you're down this many, though, right? You have to really make every single little bit count.
They do start strong, though. They take out one Voltage. Need to keep everybody alive in here. Good use of the smoke. Broad defense, bomb not picked up. Michigan Tech are not interested in getting the plant. They're interested in getting the blood.
That's just such a concerning line out of context, I must say.
It is, but hey, esports context is everything, isn't it?
Just going for a classic ritual sacrifice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they might need one to win this. I don't know. Flash is looking out of this one. 4v4 now. And you can see the push is happening through house into apartments. Bomb moving forward ever so slowly, and there's still one of Central Michigan sitting on A site. They don't know this is going through. The smoke comes out as well. Double smokes. And they're going to try to get the answer. Finding Droid. Here's the push. Clean slate going down, Tig. This could be it.
This is big. They're going to go for the kind of pincer here. Doesn't matter. They actually find the angle.
Okay, 2v2, all that's left. The bomb has been planted, and it's just Haon to try and save the day, making his way around Market. And this is it. Tournament hopes relying on Haon's performance here to try and take down Michigan Tech's 2 remaining members and get the defuse off.
And he comes out of
Seconds
Market.
remaining.
On to B site now. Will he be hit here?
That's
Finds
one.
the pick.
Peek. He finds it.
Oh,
No,
okay.
can't quite happen, and it's going to be the end of the game. Tig, Michigan Tech coming up with another win.
Strong wins as well. Not just that, really just dominating victory coming in from
This
Michigan
time we
Tech.
called it.
Yeah.
Michigan Tech, once again, 2-0 all the way through the tournament. This time a little different on the maps. No Inferno, no overpass required for them as they were able to take a win on Mirage. And for a second, CMU looked like they had some momentum going for them, but every single time the Huskies had an answer.
I think that's it. It's just there was so little even downtime in those games because everything was constantly, okay, as soon as you're seeing something slow down, immediately in comes the rush. They're just being rushed down. They're hunting for more. And they found it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, even on those pistol rounds, I think what really surprised me the most was whenever they actually just went full YOLO pistol, they still managed to pick off a couple of members of CMU over and over again. And that kind of aggression, that kind of willingness to just go all in, just to throw your opponents off, is critical to getting those wins sometimes. So they look just as comfortable on Mirage. Final score there, just about the same thing to be able to take the win. So Michigan Tech, rightly deserving that 2-0. But it's not just us in this one here at NACE 2021, Tig. I want to hear what Glitter Explosion has to say about that 2-0.
Hey guys, I mean, you both called it. You knew how this was going to go down. So I mean, first of all, good on you.
I think we got the mute
We
again.
found you on mute. But I think the aggression surprised me the most. I liked that kind of heavy push in. And I'm kind of waiting to see if Glitter, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we
cool,
got
you're
you.
with us.
Excellent.
I was saying, first of all, you guys did a really good job calling
Oh,
it.
thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So nice on that. Your predictions spot on. I mean, you saw how that was going to play out, and good job to both of the schools. That was. We've had some really decided victories so far, which is just, I feel like it's just in general for the entire event, just elevating the level of collegiate play for esports, which is something that I love to see. I want to see this bubble, this community continue to grow and continue to succeed. So
Absolutely.
huge shout out to all of the players that have participated here so far. But guys, I need to know if you can manage to pick one, your highlight or favorite moments from that matchup.
Ooh, Tig, you want to go first? Or you need a minute?
I probably need a minute. I'm
Okay.
taking stock.
I think I will do it. I think the first time we saw Central Michigan take a map and then the immediate reaction from the Huskies was to just full on rush in and actually manage to just take the round themselves by mixing it up completely, making that big aggressive play rather than just a more measured defense. The willingness to just adapt on the fly and do something completely contrary to what you've been doing so far really made all the difference. And I think for me, that was the standout moment.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think on my side, probably looking at the adaptability again. When we first saw Central Michigan go, okay, it's our turn, we're gonna rush. What you immediately saw as the response is Michigan Tech went for this kind of 2-2 split and hit them from both angles and just took the round immediately. I just like to see the kind of immediate changes in style, very similar to what Pyro was saying and the one he was pointing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you switch it from more aggressive to less or less aggressive to more, right? They could do it all.
Yeah, and that's how important is that in just esports in general is adaptability. Regardless of the game that you're trying to play, you need to be able to change with whatever your opponents are giving you, and we saw so many of these players in this squad specifically able to do that.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from the Huskies. They are just dominant from the get-go. And looking back at the maps when we were prepping for this, we were just wondering, man, how is it that they had such a dominating performance on Inferno? Maybe that's just a map that's so good for them. But then we got to see them on Mirage, and we were like, oh no, this is just Michigan Tech.
Yeah, Inferno's their favorite, but they can pull them all off.
Oh boy.
I mean, great series here coming through from both squads. We did see CMU try to make a comeback there at the end too, so they had some solid rounds for themselves. No slight to them whatsoever, but guys, it's that time. It is the time of the day where I very, very sadly have to let you go. I need to, first of all, thank you for doing a great job with both Hearthstone and CSGO, but any final thoughts from both of you? Could start with you, Pyra.
Yeah, it's just been an absolute pleasure to be here. I love getting involved in collegiate esports and getting this opportunity. So thank you so much to everybody who's made this happen, to NACE and all the partners involved, Skillshot and everybody. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope you all have enjoyed. Also, shout out to Tig for doing this from across the pond, big time zone switch up, and honestly just crushing it. So grats to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say thanks for having me over, really. I mean, kind of, we'll call it flying me over as such, but certainly just kind of remoting in from Ireland as well. Kind of late where I am now, but it was really fun to kind of hop in these series and really cool to see the kind of level of play that America bring out.
Well, like I said, it was an absolute pleasure having you guys here with us, so thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glitter, and thanks, everybody. Bye.
All right, guys, that was a great way to close out our CSGO Championship Series. And of course, none of this would be possible without all of our amazing sponsors, so we need to thank them as always. Thank you to Microsoft, ATL, eHire, HyperX, and Queens Gaming Collective for making this entire event possible. But our official CSGO champions of the night are Michigan Tech. Huge congratulations to them on winning their CSGO matchup against Central Michigan. Thank you so much to our casters Pyra and Tig for joining us, and to the schools and players for participating and putting on a show. With CSGO wrapped up with a nice little bow, it's time to change the arena again. So when we come back, it's time for some Fortnite. 80 players, 40 teams, 2 rounds of gameplay. It's going to be crazy, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.